Hi, good morning to everyone. Thank you for attending to today's webinar. My name is Alvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales for the company Grecom Technologies and also the managing director. Just to let you know, we're going to be recording today's webinar so we can share with all the people that registered and was not able to attend, so we can share all the information with them. Okay. Okay, as mentioned today, we're going to be introducing all the different artificial intelligence solutions that we have for the energy sector, or the energy sector. Here is a mistake. Then, okay, so let's start with a brief presentation of the company. Okay, Grecom Technology was founded in 2005. And we are very specialized in developing real-time analytics for thermal imaging cameras. That is our biggest line of expertise. And although we have also solutions for day and night cameras, for automation and safety and so on. Right now, we have over 30 different analytics developed. We export to 64 countries. As a matter of fact, 70% of our sales goes overseas. And we can offer the full chain of value. That means that we have our own R&D department, which is responsible not only for developing our own solutions, but also is responsible for customizing the solutions according to the project requirements. Also, we have an integration department, which is responsible for integrating all our different analytics with existing VMSs, security platforms, access control platforms, and so on. Okay, we have the pre-sales department, which is also responsible for monitoring or auditing that the camera deployment and how the system is deployed is correctly done, so we can guarantee a good performance of the analytics. And then we have the after sales and the project maintenance, which is responsible for solving any potential problems that might show up. And then the project maintenance is it's kind of like a division that is responsible for especially all those projects that we do for critical infrastructure, so we can give in a 2-hour support, okay, in case that something goes wrong. These are all the different lines of analytics that we can offer. We're gonna go very fast over them because later on there's gonna be some of the different solutions that we will go more in deep on it. So on perimeter surveillance, we have solutions for thermal cameras and for day and night cameras. Okay, we have marine surveillance solutions. We have VMS, then we have VMS with artificial intelligence and VMS without artificial intelligence, which I will explain you later on. Then we have cybersecurity. This is one area that is more oriented into data loss prevention. So basically with this solution, what we're doing is we are monitoring all the workstations that are connected to the network, and that make sure that all the employees follow the IT policy of the company, and they don't put in jeopardy or they don't jeopardize the data of the company, such as like commercial information, financial information, or customer information. Also, we have the face recognition solutions for the access control and multiple solutions, which we will go over later on. On the automation and safety, we have also plenty of solutions like, I don't know, like tank monitoring, transformer monitoring, which we will explain today, leak detector, catenary. We have also solutions for fire prevention. So we have one solution for wild forest, and then we have another solution for industrial scenarios. And then we have solutions for healthcare, okay? So here, basically, today, what we're gonna be doing is introducing all the different solutions that we can have for the electrical, electric energy, or the energy, electricity supply sector, okay? So most of the projects that we have done are for substation monitoring, okay? What can we offer for the substation? Okay, we have multiple solutions. I mean, we can go from perimeter surveillance, from access control, but the most demanding solutions that we have is the, let's call it the temperature monitoring. Okay, so here with what we do is we are monitoring like a bushing, the surge arrestor, the insulator, the switchgear, circuit breaker, batteries, and so on. So pretty much all the electrical components that are inside in a substation, we are monitoring. And then the key advantage that we can offer versus normal maintenance is that what we can do is we can anticipate to the problems by monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week, all these different components. So basically here what we do is we analyze the temperature of all of them. And then what we do is we compare similar components with each other on the same in the same installation, in the same location. Okay. So we can identify which ones are overheating and which ones are performing at the right temperature. With that information, what we can do is we can anticipate to a major failure and then avoid like expensive reparation or replacement cost. Okay, and also we can have level control. So here what we can do is we can monitor the oil levels of the transformers or the gas levels and so on, depending on how is the transformer. So here, basically, what we do is we deploy these systems in each one of the substations, and all these substations are connected to a central control center from where we monitoring all the different substations. So this is very cost effective because, as you know, in most of the companies, what they do is they have like a maintenance crew which they send periodically to each one of these substations. They take measurements manually of each one of the critical components. But I mean, between the visits, it might happen like a failure might happen. So you cannot anticipate to it. Meanwhile, what you do is when you're monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week, that means that you are constantly monitoring and you can predict when something wrong is going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide the presentation or the webinar in two sections. First of all, we're going to go on the security area, and then later on we will go on the, let's call it on the safety or automation, okay? From the security, the first thing that we would like to introduce is our VMS with artificial intelligence, okay? This is a solution that has been certified by the ISO 27001. And then also was the Red Dot winner last year as the smarter solution among all the different solutions that were for the contest. Okay, so what is a VMS with artificial intelligence? Okay, most of the VMSs that you find on the market, basically what they do is they are recording 24 hours, 7 days a week, and then also what they do is they record all the events of all the different analytics that are connected to that the VMS. So for every single alarm, what they do is, okay, camera number one on date or whatever at that time triggered on an intrusion alarm, okay, or a line crossing or whatever, okay. Here, besides that, what we do is, as we are recording the image, we are classifying the images. What does it mean? For example, if it's a person, the first thing that we record is the face. The second thing is we classify, okay, this is a human. The third thing is the gender, if it's a male or if it's a female. And then what we do is the type of clothing, if they're wearing like a long jeans, shorts, skirts, t-shirt or long sleeve shirt or whatever, okay? And then also the color of the clothing. So this is being done automatically as the VMS is recording, is classifying, depending on what he's viewing, is classifying the object in a way that whenever you want to do a forensic search, you have like kind of like a search tool where you introduce the criteria that you're looking for. And then automatically what the VMS is going to do is going to download all those clips which match with your search criteria. This is very effective because it saves a lot of hours on the forensic search, okay? Meanwhile, if you go on a traditional VMS, you have to go over hundreds and hundreds of hours of recording to just to detect or to spot that specific event that you're looking for. Okay. Also, this can be done not just with humans, but also can be done with vehicles. So for example, imagine that you're in a parking lot. What we will do is we will record the license plate number. We will be able to search by license plate number. We will classify it as the type of vehicle, if it's a motorcycle, if it's a car, if it's a, I don't know, like a van, if it's a truck, or if it's a trailer, if it's a bus, and so on. And then also we can have the models, and then also we can identify the type of the color of the vehicle. Okay. Also, this solution, what it does is it can be used for access control. So also what we can do is we can do people counting, heat maps, and then also what we can do is people tracking within the premise, always as long as that person has always been on the field of view of the camera. Okay. So for instance, imagine that you have a suspect person that you want to know how that person moves inside the facilities. Always, as long as that person is on the field of view of the cameras, we can know the tracking. We can know how he moved or how she moved inside the facilities. Okay. And then also you can have like on real time, you can know the positioning of the people, so you can see how they're moving and where they are gathering. So also in case that you want to do some social distancing, you will be able to do it, and so on. Okay. This, I'm going to explain you here how it will be the architecture. We have two different options. We can either go with our own cameras or we can go with third-party cameras. Okay. The good thing about our own cameras is that the analytics and the recording is embedded into the camera. Okay. So when you're using our cameras, you will not need any server. Okay. You can just connect the camera to a router or to a switch, so directly connected to the cloud, and you will be able to access to the cameras and to the recordings from any device that is connected to the internet. Okay. As for the recording, we can have 30, 60, 90, and 120 days. Okay. And all that will be done inside the camera. One very positive thing about this solution is that when you use our own cameras, you have a 30-day backup on the cloud free of charge. So, I mean, in most of the projects, the minimum recording time lap is about 30 days. So that is free of charge. And then also the good thing about this VMS is that besides recording, also is going to give you 4 different analytics included on the price. It's going to be license plate number, face recognition, intrusion, and then also sound analytics. Okay, so all those 4 different analytics will be included on the same price as the VMS license. So it's a very cost-effective solution. In case that you want to deploy this VMS on a project where the cameras are already deployed, there is not a problem. The only difference is that we will need to install what we call the cloud connector, which is a server where the analytics and the recording will be done. And in order to access to that device, any workstation that is connected to the same network, we will be able to either access directly to the server or to the cloud. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video on how the search tool works.
Welcome to AvoWare. Today we're going to cover search. Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or a vehicle, a line cross event where a vehicle or person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our AvoWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that out.
Okay. So this will be all what we can offer us from the VMS point of view. Now we're gonna go on the face recognition, which will be more oriented into the access control. Okay, so here what we can do is we have a solution that we can guarantee a 99.87% of accuracy on wild faces and 99.6 on faces with face mask. Okay. This is a solution that has been certified by the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is an authority in the US that has been auditing different algorithms for face recognition. And then also you later on a graphic how was the outcome. This is a solution that follows with all the privacy regulations, IS 256 in REST, and then also HTTPS for sharing. It's very fast on detecting, less than 100 milliseconds. Okay, I think is one of the fastest solutions on detecting. It's very flexible. I mean, you can have it on premise, cloud, or you can also have it on hybrid. And then from the hardware requirements is one of the lowest solutions in the market that we can save up to 20% on the, especially on the graphic card area. Okay, it is compatible with all the operating systems, Windows, Macs, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. And then also we have our own APIs and SDKs, so we can integrate our solution with all the different access control platforms that we have available in the market. Okay, so this will be the solution. As you can see here on the top right corner, this is where we are placed. I mean, we are the fastest solution on detection, and then also will be among the solutions that less gigabyte or less size from software point of view, from a graphic card point of view, we need. Okay, so this on this test, I mean, as you can see, there were over 300 different algorithms that were tested, and then this was the outcome of the top of them. Okay, the top ones. Okay, and the minimum requirement to pass the test was to be to bring an accuracy less than 0.0285, and then our result was 0.0027. So that is one of the most accurate solutions in the market. Okay, so here we have different options. We can either go on software, so that means you will have like a normal HD high definition camera, and then you just have the software running over that camera, or you can have like a plug and play device as we saw in here, which is the scan. Okay, this is an access control device that is compatible with OSDP and then also with WGAN. So you can integrate it with all the existing access control platforms. This device has a capacity to retain a database of 20,000 users. Okay, can be used in indoors and outdoors. Okay, and then also has infrared lighting. So in adverse lighting conditions, we will be able to identify the person and be able to watch a face. And then the good thing about it is that it's very easy to install. It's a plug and play, and then also the device includes kind of like a registration device where you can register new people, and then also what you can do is you can grant access to different areas. Okay, here I think there is one person that wants to ask something. I think is Ali. You have a question here. Ali Haider, you have a question? Okay, we carry on. Después is also the solution is very fast. I mean, we can guarantee like around 30 to 35 people. We can grant access to 30 to 35 people per minute, so it's very fast. And then, as I said, it's very friendly use. It's very easy to install. As for what can we do with the access or with the face recognition? From the monitoring point of view, we can do mass detection, social distance, audience management, congestion prediction. So that means when there is a lot of people gathering on the access control, so we can open up a different line so we can speed up the process of access control. Counting people, suspect detection, activity monitoring is kind of like the heat maps. Direction analysis if the person is coming in or coming out. This is a solution that is totally contactless. You will not need anyone. And then also has the multi-factor authentication. Okay, so imagine that your employee is wearing the protective equipment, is wearing helmet, glasses, face mask, and it's very difficult to identify. Also, we will be able to recognize the person by a QR code. Okay. From the facial recognition, we can do access control, VIP recognition. So we can have also subscription and activation of new customers. So especially for visits, this is a very easy, friendly use process, and will speed up severely all the process. We can, it's kind of like the blacklist, we can identify suspects, and then also has the liveness and anti-spoofing. Okay. Either on the device that we saw earlier on the scan, but and also with the software version. Always, as long as we're using a 3D camera, we will be able to identify a real face and a non-real face. That means that, for example, if someone is trying to supplant the identity of one person with a picture or with a video, we will be able to distinguish between a real face and a fake face. Okay, so also that is very interesting. And then from the analytics point of view, we can do demographic analysis, like we can classify by gender, by age. And then also we can have heat maps, queuing time, dwell time. This is very important, how much time they spend inside the premise. And then occupation panel. This is kind of like a dashboard that on real time you're going to be able to view what is happening inside your premise. That means how many people are in, how many people are out. And then also you will be able to do some demographic analysis. So here I'm going to show you a video of how this solution works.
Introducing SaferScan, the first full-featured intelligent biometric access control edge solution priced for broad-based applications. SaferScan is fast and touchless to expedite safe pedestrian traffic. And SaferScan works as well in outdoor locations as it does inside, even in challenging lighting conditions. SaferScan's advanced algorithms and 3D liveness ensure accurate identification and authorized access, while unknown individuals will be rejected, and real-time alerts are automatically issued if tailgating is detected. Management reports capture every entry for audit and compliance reviews. A self-contained PoE solution, SaferScan is also fast and easy to install. Plus, SaferScan works with leading access control platforms. High-performance biometric access control made affordable. Only with SaferScan.
Okay, we're going to move to the next solution, which is the perimeter. Here we have two options. We can either work with thermal imaging or with day and night cameras. Okay, the good thing about the perimeter lookout is that it has artificial intelligence on it. That means that can auto-classify persons and vehicles and also can discriminate animals, vegetation, light changes, shadows, or raindrops on the lens, camera movement, and so on. Okay, has multiple detection rules as intrusion, line crossing, prowling, or abandoned object, and then is compatible with all the IP cameras in the market. And then also, I mean, it's integrated with Milestone and Genetec. So then in case that we need to integrate it with another VMS, I mean, we do the integration free of charge. Okay. This solution, what it does is a very accurate solution. Okay. Because I mean, what we do is, I mean, is as I said before, we have like it's pre-configured in a way that can auto-classify vehicles and humans. Okay. So here I'm going to show you a video. This is with the thermal imaging, okay? But I'm going to show you a video on how the solution works. As you can see, for example, on the central image, that is a very shaky, and still, I mean, it doesn't trigger any alarms on the areas, okay? And then on the upper left, you see there is barely any contrast, so we can still detect it. And then the numbers that you can see near the bounding box, that is the percentage of accuracy. That means it's 90, for example, on this one is 99% is human. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna move to the CoastGuard. Okay, this is a solution that has been deployed on wind turbines deployed on the coast. Okay, so here what this solution, what it does is detects large and small vessels, okay, and floating objects. It's a very long range detection. I mean, the minimum target size will be 2 pixels. We cannot use thermal imaging cameras for this solution. We can guarantee a very low false alarms of between 2 and 5%. Does not generate false alarms by the waves and by the sun reflections with the waves. And then also is we can position the objects that we're detecting on the with UTM or GPS coordinates. So we can also position on a map, or imagine that you have a radar, and the radar has, as you know, has kind of like a blind area that is not covering. So in most of the cases, what we do is we cover the blind area. Okay. And then also it's integrated. It can work with PTC cameras, or it can work with fixed cameras. And then also it's integrated with all the main VMSs, Milestone, Genetec, Axis Camera Station, Belco, Avigilon, Goitebrook, EDIS, Cathesix, Latitude, Chameleon. So it is pretty much integrated with all the main VMSs available on the market. Okay, here I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show you this video. Okay. All right, now we're gonna move into the safety solutions. Here, the most demanding solution that is the transformer monitor. Okay, this is a solution that we are not just using for the transformers, but we're using to monitor the temperature thresholds of all the different components on a substation. Okay, so with this solution, as I said at the beginning of this webinar, what we do is to monitor all the temperature of all the components inside a substation. Okay, and the good thing about this is what we do is we take measurements of all those components, and then what we do is we compare that temperature with similar components on the same substation. Okay, so by comparing all of them, what we can do is we can identify which one of these components is overheating versus similar ones on the same site. Okay, what we can do is with this solution we can anticipate to major failures or major problems, and then instead of like having a major failure where you have to replace a lot of equipment, what you just can do, you just can predict and then just switch or change the solution or the spare part that that is about to break out. Okay. This solution can work with fixed or PTC cameras. In most of the cases, we're using PTC cameras to save the number of cameras per site. Okay. Has simultaneous radiation and distance configuration. This is very important. I mean, it's not the same to monitor one component that is 5 meters away from the camera than one component that is 20 meters away. Okay, so as you know, the energy dissipates with the space. So the farther the object is from the camera, the less energy or the less accurate the reading is going to be. So you need to kind of like adjust depending on the distance in order to be accurate on the reading. Okay. This has simultaneous temperature and behavior analysis. So we just not analyze the temperature, because that is what the cameras can do by itself, but also what we do is we analyze the behavior. So that means we see how that specific component is evolving on a period of time throughout the time. Okay. And then also whenever we do the recording, we do analysis offline. So that means that you will be able to move the mouse over the image and you will be able to figure out the temperature pixel by pixel of that specific area. Okay. Another one of the solutions that is very demanding is the temp threshold. Okay, this is very similar to the transformer monitor, but with different purpose. Here, basically, what we do is we try to detect fire. Okay, so what we do is here is we analyze all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera. Whenever they reach to a given temperature threshold, we will detect it, and then we will start analyzing the behavior. For example, imagine that you have machinery working on the field of view of the camera. The machinery has a specific behavior. Okay, for example, the exhausting tube might be at the same temperature as the temp threshold that you have set up the system for to detect a fire. But the behavior is totally different because, I mean, the machine, I mean, the trolley or the forklift, what is that has a steady temperature, but is moving all around the field of view of the camera. Meanwhile, for example, a fire increases the temperature very fast and then also increases the intensity, but it doesn't move around the image. Okay, it moves, but it moves a little bit slower than a forklift or any kind of machinery. So that is what I mean by analyzing the behavior. First of all, we analyze the temperature, and secondly, what we do is we analyze the behavior. If those two the behavior and the temperature matches what we have this set up the analytics for, that is when we trigger the alarm. Okay. Here I'm going to show you a video. This is with a PT camera. So as you can see, it takes like around 2 seconds to detect the fire. That is basically because what we do is we generate kind of like a background of the image. And then when we start analyzing the behavior, it takes us like around 2 to 3 seconds to determine if it's a fire or not. Another one of the solutions that we would like to offer you is the protective equipment monitoring. So here with this solution, it also has artificial intelligence. And then what we do is we detect whenever the employees are accessing to the facility to make sure that all of them are wearing the right safety equipment, such as helmets, like reflection vest, protective boots, gloves, ear protection, and so on. Okay, this is done automatically, and then we have two devices. The first one is for the access control. So with this solution, basically what we do is we guarantee that whenever people are accessing to the facility, they're wearing the right equipment, and in case they are not wearing, we will not grant the access. And also we can do identification with it. And then in case that you just want to monitor the people meanwhile they are on the work place, we have these devices. We have for 1 camera, for 3, and up to 30 cameras. Okay, so here what these devices will be doing is monitoring on real time the work area and make sure that all the employees are wearing the right equipment. So this will be all the different solutions that we can offer for the energy sector. Here I would like to share with you some success cases that we have done. On the defense and law enforcement, we have deployed with the FBI in the United States, the VMS and the cybersecurity solution. On the NATO headquarters, we have done the access control. On Rota military base, this is a military base shared between the US and the Spanish Army. And it has, is in the south of Spain. It has like a Navy, has Air Force, and then also it's a very big military base. So we do all the security for it. And then also we do all the security for all the Navy bases and Air Force in Spain. On the oil and gas, we have been, our solution for perimeter surveillance is the standardized for the Saudi Aramco. So whenever it goes embedded, it goes with our solution. With Cepsa, which is the second largest oil company here in Spain, we do all the security solutions for them. Repsol, we do automation, we do some flame monitoring and so on. With Enagas, also we do the ports monitoring. On the renewable, we work with all the top brands, Excelio, Iberdrola, Enel, Greenergy, SunPower, I don't know, BP Solar, and so on. In the industry, we work with companies such as Gestam, which is the largest manufacturer of automotive components in the world. Volkswagen, Toyota, Mercedes, PepsiCo, I don't know, ArcelorMittal. Okay, and then telecommunications, AT&T, Etisalat on the Emirates, Facebook, Hitachi, Telefonica, which is in Spain. Critical infrastructures, Madrid International Airport, Valencia Port, which is the largest port in the Mediterranean by container traffic, Trillo nuclear plant. This is Al Waqba Palace, which is the Emir of Qatar Palace in Doha. And then as for distribution, we work with all the main distributors, Anixter, ADI, Secutronic in the Saudi Arabia. Okay, also Ingram Micro, ScanSource, Tech Data. Okay, and then as for installers, we also work with all the key installers worldwide. So this will be pretty much the all the different solutions that we can offer for the energy sector. Here you have my contact details, my mobile telephone number, and my email address. Just to let you know, in case that you want to test any of the solutions, we can offer you free of charge demo licenses, so you can test it. And then before, you make a decision, you can see how the solution works. Okay, and then in order to do so, you can either access to our website and access for and request a demo, or you can contact me directly and we can organize it. Okay, now is the time for questions. You can use your microphone, or you can either use the chat in case that you want to ask any questions. So please feel free to contact me in case that you need anything. And also, in case you have any questions, please do so. Also very important to know that the licenses includes remote setup, configuration, and fine-tuning. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. So this is not something that we sell to the system installer and the system installer is responsible for deploying. We will sell it to the system installer, but we will do all the configuration and fine-tuning work for them. And as for the type of licenses, you can have perpetual or subscription model. So depending on what you're looking for, in case that you want to use subscription, you can also have 1, 3, or 5 years. Okay, we have a question here. Your PV example shows some difficulties in detecting the number of peoples. You saw 2 out of 3 persons. What can you do to improve this? Okay, let me check out. You mean in this image? Okay, what we can do is we can monitor what the camera can see. If someone is behind another person, it's impossible to monitor that. But everything that is on the field of view of the camera, it can be seen. Okay, and then also depending on the distance, and also depending on the distance, and then depending on the object that we are pretending to detect, we can be more or less accurate. For instance, imagine that you are detecting a person and he's not wearing the protective gloves and he's like 30 meters away. We might not have enough pixels into the image in order to recognize. So the minimum target, the minimum size, the way this solution works is you create models, okay? So for instance, imagine that you work for a company that the helmet is white as the one shown in the image. Okay, so what you do is you just scan the helmet, and then what the solution does is search for similar objects on the field of view of the camera. Okay, in case that the objects that are being detected doesn't match with what the model created, then is when it triggers the alarm. I think okay. Okay, we have here Wake asking a question: is the cloud solution needed, or do you have offline? We can either go on server base or we can go on cloud. Okay, so that is not. You can either go either way. So most of the critical infrastructures, they are not very friendly with the cloud connection. So we must know in all the cases we use server-based solutions. So depending on what you want to deploy, we can either go server or on cloud. I think Christopher also has a question.
Hi, so how are you?
Sorry?
Hi, how are you?
Very good, and you?
I'm okay, sir. So I just want to just a bit, go back to the issue of the search tools. Somehow I miss the search tools, how it works. I'll be happy if you can just take me through to the search tools. And secondly, I'm interested to know around South Africa, are you having a branch? If you do, probably will you able to send me maybe your profile? I mean the business profile itself, so that we can go through, and probably we can also convene a meeting to gain more info regarding the presentation, specifically on the transformers as well as the search tools, together with the facial recognition. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, the first question that you asked me, you wanted to go over the search tool. Is that what you asked me?
Correct, sir.
Okay. So this will be this the VMS. Okay. Okay. This VMS, as I said at the beginning, this has artificial intelligence. What does it mean? That means that as the VMS is recording, is also classifying the objects that is recording. So, for example, if a human comes by the camera, then what it will do is, first of all, we'll record a face, then we'll classify the person if he's male or female, then we'll classify the type of clothing, if he's wearing shorts, jeans, skirt, long sleeve t-shirt, hat, and so on. And then also we'll classify the colors, okay? So whenever you want to do a forensic search, imagine that, for example, you are in an office building and then some incident happened and you are searching for a specific person. The only thing that you need to do is to upload the face of that person, will be one option. In case that you don't have the face, you can upload the type of clothing, okay? So you have kind of like a search tool where you have kind of like a menu, and then you say, okay, I'm looking for a male with this face, and the color of the clothing was on the top of the body was red, and on the bottom was blue, let's call it, okay? So automatically, what this system will do is will search through all the recordings and then will bring up all the information that matches with your search criteria, okay? This will also can be done with humans and can be also done with vehicles. With vehicles, we will record the license plate number, the type of vehicle, the brand of the vehicle, and also the type, the color of the vehicle. Okay, so this is, I mean, the key advantage of this solution is that is very smart, and then when you want to do some search, it's very easy to spot it. Okay. And the way it works, I mean, you can either go with our own cameras. The good thing about our own cameras is that the analytics are embedded into the camera, and then also the recording is embedded, okay? So in case you're using our cameras, you will not need a server. You can use it, but it's not required, and you just can connect directly to the cloud, okay? And in order to access to the cameras, I mean, you can do it with any device that is connected to the internet. A smartphone, tablets, or any laptop or workstation. And in case that the project already has the cameras deployed, then you will need to deploy a server, okay? And to access to that server, to any workstation that is connected to the same network, or to any device that is connected to the internet, we will be able to access, okay? Is that clear for you, or do you have any more questions, Christopher?
Thank you so much. It's clear, sir. Just that, yeah, there was those other questions that I've asked. Probably you'll go through. Are you based in South Africa?
Okay, we have companies. I mean, we have distributors in South Africa. Okay, but usually in most of the cases, we work directly with the system integrator. And then, as I said before, I mean, we support the setup. I mean, whenever we sell one of our licenses, we do the setup, fine tuning, and configuration for you guys. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. Okay. Here I have Ali that has another question. Can we integrate this with parking ticketing directly, and in gas station where we can dispense fuel with car plate number or EV charging? Okay, we can integrate it with parking ticketing, no problem. Okay, and then as for the gas station, we can dispense fuel with a car plate number. What we can do is, we can read the license plate number, send it to the control, let's call it to the cashier, and then the cashier is the one that has to open up the pump, okay? We cannot open, we will have to do some sort of integration, but we cannot open the pump directly, okay? And then, yes, we can identify the license plate number, and if that license plate number is authorized, then we can grant the supply of our gas. Okay, any such solution, as we have almost 700 plus gas stations where we use an RFID. Okay, so what I recommend to you is to have kind of like a, let me just write down your details here. And then we can discuss personally this solution, and then what I can offer you is to do a proof of concept. So we can do a real proof of concept and then see if the solution is what you're expecting or you're looking for. But on the theory, we can do what you're asking for. But I think we need to understand better the project. More questions that you guys have? Okay, if there is no more questions, well, thank you very much for attending to today's webinar. It was a pleasure. We have almost 30 people joining, so it's very good. And then here you have my contact details in case that you need to get in touch with me. I have my mobile telephone number, and also you have my email address. And then in case that you want to request a demo, here you have the address, or you can access our website, and then in the website you can request for a demo, okay? So once again, thank you very much for attending to today's webinar, and it's a real pleasure. And then let's keep in touch for any future projects that you might have in mind, okay? Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Go ahead.